Welcome back to the fourth and final part of the For Real Movie Club for the month of April as we talk Marvel Phase 2. So this is the movie where Marvel said, fuck it, we can do whatever the hell we want. Guardians of the Galaxy was the long stretch, and to be honest with you, from this perspective of the moderator here, had no interest in seeing, but came out going, oh my god, this is phenomenal. Wow. Sam, what was your initial thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy?
My initial thoughts were, wow, I fucking love Chris Pratt in this movie. I liked Parks and Recreation, so when I saw that he was going to be in it, I'm like, alright, so this is probably going to be a comedy. I see in the trailers, I'm like, alright, yeah, okay, this is going to be Marvel's first, comedy movie.
Do you think you're going to like Jurassic Parks and Recreation?
But it's...
Yeah, I was just gonna do that.
First thoughts on just seeing the movie as a whole, it completely blew me away. Like, you're just coming off of The Winter Soldier. They hit it out of the park again. They were 2 for 2. Well, okay, they were 2 for 4 because I didn't like the first 2 in Phase 2. But damn, now they're just batting 1,000.
Tony, what were your initial thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy?
If you go back and you listen to older podcasts on Fanboys Anonymous, I had zero faith in this film whatsoever. I was running this down as, god damn, this is going to be the stupidest thing. This is going to be where they jump the shark. We got a stupid tree thing, and we got a fucking raccoon, and the silliness of Iron Man 3 and Thor, it's going to be... We're going to find out that Captain America is the only one that knows how to do anything. And this is going to be this childish film with a lot of comedy, and it's going to be garbage. It's basically going to ruin the franchise. And opening credit sequence, he's dancing around kicking a bunch of rat things to come and get your love. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to have to eat my words because I'm enjoying the hell out of this. And by the end of it, this is great. This was just so much better than it should have and could have been. And I got to give them so much credit for being able to pull that off. I wouldn't have been able to do it. That's for sure.
Now, as opposed to the first 3 movies we talked about here this month on For Real Movie Club, this one is brand new, first of its kind for Marvel, and really just kicking off their own little franchise. So casting, we get to talk about it this time. Chris Pratt is, of course, playing Star-Lord. You have Zoe Saldana, who wanted to go with a different color this time, rather than blue or black. She went green. We have a wrestler, Dave Bautista. We have Vin Diesel in his finest acting role ever as a tree. Bradley Cooper as a raccoon. And then you have Michael Rooker. You have Benicio del Toro, Glenn Close, John C. Reilly. Holy crap, casting. Tony, what are your thoughts on the casting for Guardians of the Galaxy?
I could do without Glenn Close. I could do without John C. Reilly. There might be a better Ronin out there, but Lee Pace did his job. He was fine. Everybody else knocks it out of the park. Batista's not a great actor, but he didn't have exactly the most, ridiculous role to pull off. Vin Diesel somehow was able to say I am Groot in a bunch of different ways. Kudos to him. But Chris Pratt really sells this film. He's a very charismatic, very entertaining character, and you root for him the entire time. Zoe Saldana for Gamora is not annoying. So many female characters in movies, they try to hit home the idea that, well, she's a woman and she's a badass and you should be surprised because... it's like a reverse sexism, kind of. We want to prove that we're not sexist. So we're going to feel like we need to really hit home that it's okay for a woman to be able to do that. And it's yeah, it's fine. Why do you need to harp on it? That means that you have reservations about it. They don't need to do that in this movie. They just have her, she is what she is, and she pulls it off. And Karen Gillan? Can't remember for sure if that's Gillan or Gillian. Nebula's interesting. You know, I mean, they had an odd assortment of characters, and the casting's great. Very, very glad, too, that they went with Bradley Cooper for Rocket Raccoon instead of somebody with an Australian accent like in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Because holy shit, that's annoying. But
He's the Star-Lord.
that
Sam,
is so bad.
What were your thoughts on the casting for Guardians of the Galaxy?
I generally love the cast. I liked Ronan. I didn't have any reservations about Lee Pace. John C. Reilly was John C. Reilly. That was basically it. Like, he wasn't, what was the name? Roman Day? I didn't really, no, he was John C. Reilly in space. But that wasn't a bad thing. I like John C. Reilly. And it fit, but I really hope they don't do that again in the future of Marvel. Have like a really just like have a well-known actor do what they're known for doing in a movie. Because then it's not going to feel like a character, it's just going to feel like the actor doing their bit. And in this, it felt like John C. Reilly just doing a John C. Reilly bit. Glenn Close, it literally did not matter to me that it was Glenn Close. She didn't do bad. I liked the character, but you could have just inserted any other older woman in that role, and I probably would have liked it just the same. But I really did not recognize Bradley Cooper's voice, so kudos to him for giving Rocket, like, his own distinct voice. Because sometimes in voice acting, you can just hear the actor, and you can't really get out of that. Which sometimes it doesn't matter, like Iron Giant. I know that's Vin Diesel, but it's still cool. And here, like, I could tell he was Groot, but when you only say 3 lines, I guess it doesn't really matter. Or, technically, 5 lines? Because then he says, "We are Groot." Which actually, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but that actually kind of annoyed me when he said, "We are Groot." Because when he did that, I'm sitting in the theater like, he can't say that. But for the casting, it was fine. I was A-okay with the cast. Except Brolin. I would not have cast him as Thanos. Thanos didn't sound right to me.
He looked a little weird too.
Yeah, they took him out from, instead of a deeper purple color, they made him like a very light purple color.
And kind of fatter.
And they gave him weird teeth. He was all grinny.
Yeah, a little
Like,
too green.
Somebody needs to take that footage of him smiling and just put like some like kind of thing in there. Like,
Now, when it comes to this film, it's really the first of its kind for Marvel because it's in space. It's dealing with a completely different subtopic that will eventually lead to what everything else has been building to. But starting like, all right, we know that you guys are in phase 2, but really this is a phase 3 type movie because they're going to build to the Infinity War rather than Age of Ultron. They're not even going to know what the hell an Ultron is, except for the fact that Vision was created from Ultron.
Right.
Do you feel that this was a good Kickstarter and a good like backlining to help kick off what will eventually be the Infinity War, where it's like, fuck, just any actor in Hollywood wants to be in it, let's do it. We'll start with you, Tony.
yeah, they did more to set up what's coming for the Avengers and stuff like that for both sides of the story. I mean, the stories themselves and for how to just get around it from a writing perspective and casting and everything. Like, they really, this film did a lot to help the franchise. We know more about the Infinity Stones in this than ever. I mean, shit, they had the explanation of the Infinity Stones in this. The hell with Odin and his, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, some of these are stones and some of them aren't, because that one's kind of like water and whatever, but, you know who else has an eye patch? Fury. That guy's cool, too. You should go see him again. Like, this was something where they showed that there's a lot more flexibility in the Marvel Universe, and you can bring these elements that are, like, you know, there was a time period in comic book films where they didn't even think that the X-Men could wear uniforms. They needed to wear all leather because you wouldn't buy it that, you know, these people are wearing, like, uniforms with X's on them, right? That's cheesy and stupid and comic booky. Nobody likes that kind of crap. And this movie was like, yeah, we got Howard the Duck, we got fucking, you know,
Cosmo.
we're just gonna fly this spaceship into the head of a celestial. It's like, it's amazing. This showed that Marvel is able to take the series in the direction of the comic books, and that not only is it going to succeed, but it's going to be viewed in such a positive light that, like you mentioned about getting actors and stuff, Al Pacino is going to be in a fucking movie now. Like, that's crazy. Al Pacino looks at this movie and he goes, "Oh, they took the Rocket Raccoon. They took the tree. I don't know this shit." And it's like, kudos to you guys. You pulled that off. Amazing.
It's gonna be Guardian of the Galaxy 3 versus Scarface. Sam, what were your thoughts on this really kicking off Phase 3 and tying a lot of the loose ends that the other phases have done?
I like that this is setting up Infinity War. I like Tony said, the better explanation of the Infinity Stones, and the sense that you actually get to see Thanos communicate and work with like other characters. I wouldn't have released it when they did. I would have switched Guardians and Winter Soldier. So I would have had Winter Soldier be the lead into Age of Ultron instead of Guardians, because then it almost felt disconnected. But that didn't take away from anything. It's just how I would have done it, but hey, I'm not the head at Marvel, and for probably good fucking reason. But, I really hope all of these rumors aren't true. That, the director, what's his name?
James Gunn.
James Gunn,
yeah. Is saying that the Guardians aren't really connected too much, and that we aren't gonna see the Guardians and the Avengers crossover.
Well, tell James Gunn he's fired. Sorry.
Basically. Like, hey, you saw what happened to Joss Whedon, it can happen to you too.
They gotta be showing up. I mean, they are connected. They're setting up everything. They've got the Infinity Stone.
Right, like Drax wants to kill Thanos, and Thanos is going to Earth. Peter Quill is from Earth. It's writing itself.
I think he means more so that he doesn't have to follow, like, specifics. Like, when you look at the Winter Soldier and you look at Age of Ultron and Iron Man 3 and stuff, like, they tie in together so much more than Guardians does.
Well, yeah, but, like, there's a difference between saying, hey, if Captain America starts doing heroin, that doesn't matter for our universe. But then to say that the Guardians and the Avengers are not going to cross over, nah, like, get that man out of the director's chair. I don't like this.
To give you some facts about the Guardians of the Galaxy, it was released here in the United States August 1st, 2014, which not even a year ago, with a runtime of 122 minutes. The budget was $195.9 million. It raked in $774.2 million in the box office, and it has overall the appeal just has grabbed the kids and ran with it. These really no-named superheroes took off. So with that being said, Tony, we'll start with you. Final thoughts, high point, low point, and ranking 1 to 10.
Very, very impressed with how they pulled this movie off. So much better than I expected it to be. And thankfully, too, because they needed it. After the beginning of Phase 2, those two movies just weren't doing it. Captain America, Winter Soldier breathed brand new life into everything, and Guardians took that momentum and they just kept it going. Least favorite scene, probably Josh Brolin's delivery for his lines as Thanos. That was disappointing. He could have been a lot better. Brolin's gonna be better, but they didn't really pull it off there. Maybe the broker, too. He was a little over the top. But favorite part, they've got Celestials in this. That's awesome. Like, I never would have thought, back in Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, it was crazy enough in my mind that we were getting the Cosmic Cube in Captain America. But it's one thing to introduce the Cosmic Cube and to bring the Tesseract in and then to make that about Infinity Stones, but then to bring in, at the same time, confirmation that we've got eternity, entropy, infinity, death, the Celestials, the fucking Howard the Duck. Like, they went crazy here. And Celestials, out of all of them, stood out to me as, like, you're showing the giant robotic Celestials blowing up a fucking planet. That floored me. I'm giving this an 8 out of 10. Very, very impressed.
Sam, what were your high point, low point, final thoughts, and ranking 1 to 10 on Guardians of the Galaxy?
High point, it's really hard to say. I joked with Winter Soldier that it was the whole movie. This, I wouldn't say whole movie, but like, man, like the beginning when he's stealing the orb was amazing. Them on Xandar together, like fighting amongst themselves, was really fun. The battle at the end was really cool. Like, there was a lot to it. I loved the Celestial head and all that stuff that they did inside there. Low point, the very beginning. Him as a boy on Earth. I wasn't feeling it. And I thought it was really stupid that, like, when they rushed him out of the room and his mom was dying, that, like, if you remember the scene, like, he's a little boy and he's just holding his hands out in front of him. Like, but I wanted a hug. And then he just kind of runs outside. Like, I thought that was a little lame. But I would say that I would give this movie a 9 out of 10. It was really damn good. And the bad parts about it are nothing but nitpicks. So I gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Good movie.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Guardians of the Galaxy. And just one note I'd like to make about this film before we wrap up here on the 4 Movie Club. Phenomenal fucking soundtrack.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh, dude. I don't even like old songs for the most part. It really needs to be something really catchy for me to get into it. Trouble Man and Captain America, like, bunch in this one. I don't like Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Mm-hmm. This movie made me like that song.
I don't even like Cherry Bomb.
I still don't like that one.
I bought the vinyl record because of this.
Nice.
And that it is going to be worn out before the second movie comes out. I am more excited about the Awesome Mix Volume 2 that we're going to get next round.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to be phenomenal.
It's going to be German techno.
Rock me, Amadeus. Rock me, Amadeus. Yeah, it's going to happen. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the For Real Movie Club for April, which is Marvel Phase 2. Let's go around the panel and see what everybody's got going on. We'll start with you, the man, Mr. Mango.
Alrighty, guys. Fanboysanonymous.com. Always more podcasts coming your way and articles on the website and stuff like that. We are going to be having more Marvel talk, pretty much right now, because the next upload for YouTube and iTunes and Stitcher is going to be a review point of Age of Ultron. We are going to, of course, cover everything else Marvel-related. If you're interested in our thoughts on Ant-Man, check that out later on this year. But in the meantime, keep checking up the website, and we will always be doing more podcasts and more talk about everything coming your way like that. If you are fond of the wrestling side of things for a Mango Tree, then go to smarkoutmoment.com. Listen to the Smack Talk and Monday Night Raw post-show podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and youtube.com/smarkoutmoment. And if you want to hear us ramble about a bunch of nonsense and goof off on another podcast, the All Talk Show, you can find that live on megapowersradio.com whenever we decide to do it. It's a random one. And you will be aware of when we decide to do those random ones by subscribing on facebook.com/alltalkshow. But if you can't catch it live, then you can just listen to that on the archive version on, you guessed it, iTunes, Stitcher, and youtube.com/alltalkshow.
Now let's kick it over to the myth, Sam Lassio. What do you got going on?
Not nearly as much as that. You guys can catch me writing more articles for fanboysanonymous.com. You can catch me on Tumblr at science101blog.tumblr.com and commonsensestopshere.tumblr.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Sam Lassio. And you can also catch me on Science 101 on Facebook.
Well, there you have it. That's the For Real Movie Club for the month of April. So if you guys are a fan of the For Real Movie Club, make sure you check us out here on the Fanboys Anonymous YouTube. Subscribe, like, all that crap you do with YouTube. And check us out next month as we do dinosaur films. Rawr. Because we're going to prep for Jurassic World. So, thank you, moviegoers, for listening. Check back next week. And don't stop believing.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm too old for this.
Good day, sir!
You stay classy, San Diego.
Roads? Well, we're going. We don't need roads. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I'm finished.
That'll do, Pete. That'll do. Hasta la vista, baby.
Hey, everybody! We're all gonna get laid!
You're still here? It's over. Go home.